so
Better than CSS. CSS is awful. I can't. It breaks my brain, man. I
think
can't
we're
do
gonna have
CSS.
to end the interview now. Then CSS is great. I'm not going to start on you.
Welcome, Fedi Friends, to episode 57 of Fireside Fedi. I'm your host, Ozoned. Fireside Fedi is a show about folks within the Fediverse. If you're hearing this, you are the Fediverse. My guest today is Ian Forrester. Ian is a founder and firestarter of cubicgarden.ltd, previously at BBC R&D. Ian is an emergent technology expert, public service supporter, defender of human scale flourishing, city dweller, European at heart, and social geek event organizer. Captivated by the digital legacy, future of dating, human data interaction, self-hosting, personal data, open source, house music, neurodiversity, thinking, kindness, and collaborative futures for all. And that is straight from your byline, from your title on the Fediverse. And that has so much beautiful stuff in it. I love it.
Thank you. I've written that a few times. I keep forgetting. I think that's probably one of the best ones, actually. So yes.
Yeah, I love that. So welcome to the show, Ian. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with me. How would you like to be addressed?
Just Ian. Ian's good.
Ian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. So we'll go right into the keeping it all simple with Ian. How did you get to where you're at today?
Oh,
nice and easy, right?
Yeah. How long have you got?
As long as you want, man.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll keep it as concise as I possibly can.
Okay.
So I grew up in Bristol in the UK. For people who don't know, it's in the southwest. The UK is bigger than London, just to let everyone know. But I did move to London because I wanted to be a designer, and so I also discovered that, well, at that time, I'm gonna guess my age now, that the internet started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And I always remember a conversation in my college with a graphic design tutor when she said,
yeah,
when I showed her a website, I created a website using HTML, and
nice.
I remember showing it to her, and she said, are you going to print this out? And I said, no, it's a website. And she always thought that it's on a computer, so it's got to be printed out. And I was like, no, it's a website.
Yeah.
So anyway, I decided that I should go somewhere else. She's even started on all the other things. So yeah, so
that's amazing, because that was the time, right? Like that.
Yeah.
People didn't understand. Well, how's anyone going to see it? It's a website.
Exactly. And I think, so from there, I kind of moved to London, did a BA in interaction design. But in my final year, okay, you always kind of go into doing like a placement. And so I kind of did a summer job placement type thing with, this is during the .com era. 2000. So I did my final year. Yeah.
You did your final year, all right. Everyone did.
Well, it's an interesting story, actually, because so I actually joined this design startup, and it was really good. And ultimately, obviously 2001 hit, and a lot of people were let go. I think we went from 24 people to 4 people.
Yep.
I had a conversation with one of the 2 founders, and they took me out to coffee, and I got told that I thought I was going to be fired, and I was told that I was not going to be fired because I wasn't getting paid enough. So, I mean, for a student, it was very good wage, but I think the reason why I mentioned this, really is, I know it sounds like I'm going off on one, but
No, this is
It's
great.
because I made the decision then that I wasn't really that keen on this kind of on the kind of this very commercialized kind of
Yeah.
internet, very commercialized way of thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of had thoughts about this before. If you know
Hmm.
anything about Bristol, it's a very artistic and
Okay.
countercultural place. This is where Banksy was
Oh,
was kind of
yeah.
was born, for example.
Okay.
So you can kind of get a sense of like how rebellious all this is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I basically did interaction design. I tutored the course that I ran, that I was on, sorry. Did that for a year. And then I joined the BBC because I decided that I was too young to be a teacher. And the BBC
Okay.
was doing some interesting things. There was a book I read, which was all about public service. And that was what really got me because as most people know who know me very well, I was never a fan of the BBC. It was really weird. It just didn't have any relevance in my life.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah.
Made my way into a new thing called BBC Backstage, which is a developer network for the BBC.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
this is how I got. Yeah, this is when Google had a developer network, Microsoft had a developer network,
Yeah.
Yahoo had a developer network. It wasn't. It was very unknown for a public service broadcaster to have a developer network. We did some amazing stuff.
Hmm.
Like we ran a hack day for 850 people in a place called Alexander Palace, which is where the first transmitter for the BBC was,
Yeah.
and it rained, and the ceiling opened because it thought it was like there was fire, and all the rain came in, and all we've got these people hacking away
Oh
on their
my
laptops with rain coming down. There's some incredible pictures with people with umbrellas above their laptops. So have a look for that.
That's, I mean, that's, you don't want anyone's kit to be destroyed, but that's a great story.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's
But
good.
so getting
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
getting to the main point of what is, I think that I've always had this interest in relationships. Even though I was a designer,
Hmm.
I was really interested in XML, XSLT. So I was some classes a declarative programmer, which most developers absolutely hate. They hate CSS, they hate
Yes.
XSLT, they hate XML, and I
Yes.
hate the semantic web, and so I'm kind of between two. So with all this, I also found it interesting. I was also looking at alternatives.
Hmm.
I was also looking at, so I didn't have much money. I was born in a kind of working class family. And so,
Hmm.
for example, I was using a thing called, for 3D graphics, I was using a thing called Povray, which
Oh,
you
never
had to
heard that.
write the code to and then render ray trace. You had
What?
to leave your machine on overnight for it to ray trace a kind of 320 by 240 image of the image. And if you got it wrong, you
Wow.
just wasted a whole night of your computer on,
Yeah.
for example. So it wasn't. So I
And
think. Go on.
back then that mattered, right? Like
Oh
all of
yeah,
this took significant time, even downloading pictures over the web or music or whatever that you legally got, of course.
yeah, of
That it
course.
took significant amounts of time. Yeah. And processing power and all of that. No,
Yeah.
that's wow. And you
So
were actually declaratively creating your image.
yes, yes.
Wow. I could
And
not do that.
I think this is the kind of thing. So I'm always aware of like these, like, so most people they're just like, well, I'll just load up 3D Max or Maya or whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of power to be able to do that. I don't have
Yeah.
the so, but it changes the way you think about things when you're thinking about declaratively generating and creating these systems, and you're
Yeah.
trying to think about the interoperability of like, if I do this, how do I move that to there? And so there's a whole bunch of stuff like that that kind of
Dude,
is key to some of the things that I think about when I think about the Fediverse, and why I'm really interested and really kind of gunning for the Fediverse.
that's
That's a short story.
no, but all of this is amazing because So being from the US, we don't have a public service media. We have National Public Radio, which was getting a little bit of funding from the US government. That has ceased. But a lot of people are the
I'm
same
aware.
way. Yeah. A lot of people are the same way where it's like, it doesn't affect me directly. Why should I care? Right. But you saw it as an opportunity to kind of pivot. It seems like you were moving from one generation to .com burst, the bubble burst at that time, and you're moving into another one trying to figure out what you do, but you still take those skills with you to BBC.
Yeah, I think the values are one of the things that I consistently have, even though there's lots of projects I've done, which I can talk a lot more about, but I won't.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the value. So I'll mention this quick project, which is I did a lot of work around this thing called perceptive media. And so what this was the ability to adapt and change media.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a bit of a nightmare scenario, but within it, we built systems so that it was completely transparent. So you could literally kind of run it yourself and you can literally interrogate it. And it was all client side rather than server side, so that you could then run a process and go, okay, what is it? Why am I getting this instead of that? It's super important. And I just thought that these are these kind of values are really important. And even if they're not important, then they will become important.
Okay. So step back for a minute.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. This is really cool, but I want to pinpoint. So it's perceptive media, so you can change the media.
Yes.
Now, what level are we talking media? Because a lot of people today are like, oh, the media's wrong, but they're talking about the news, like actual people reporting the news. I think your media is different. You're not.
Yeah. So I think, one of the things I was really interested in was I didn't want it to be applied to news because of the risk.
Right. Okay. Yes. That's, yeah.
But so I'll give you an example of what we did, and I actually ended up in a newspaper for this one. So we created this drama, this 3-act structure drama. So one person enters a cafe, they meet another person, they have an exchange, one person leaves the cafe. Very simple.
Yeah.
Out of that, we were able to create 50,000 variations.
Oh, and wow.
So the variations are based around difference in music, the change of shots. So
Holy
it's like
shit.
Yeah. So when you shoot it, so usually a director makes a decision about I only want this part. We can with JavaScript, we can actually kind of move the playhead, so you only see a part of it or you see the whole thing. So there's a bit, for example, where the man has an argument with the woman, and he kind of says, wait. So he kind of says it quietly. Then he says, I said wait. And then at the top of his lung, he goes, I said wait. And then he does a snarl. So you can literally move the playhead so only the first one's heard, and then the second one, or you could just go straight to the third one, and the snarl makes it seem like devious. And this is the kind of thing you could do. And we're making those decisions based on, we had a control panel to be able to adjust them, but we could do things based on, maybe based on the time of day or based on who's watching or those kind of things. So all these things were driven by implicit interaction, not you explicitly going, I want this.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry, it's a lot to take in.
No. This is absolutely fascinating because, again, one of the absolute reasons I love talking to so many people, we all have such diverse backgrounds, right? In socially, culturally, economically, you are in a part that I never even knew existed, right? You've seen those things in the background, but not only this, is you've seen the evolution of this kind of stuff. And you know what? You're at the point where it's like, okay, the next step correct me if I'm wrong, seems to be your love and passion of the Fediverse. And you are bringing those 20 plus years of experience in things that no one thinks about. If Facebook has to go out, find out this job exists, find out how to hire for it, find out who they need, go through interviews, like, but you're just here and you bring all of this amazing knowledge that no one else knows about. That's so cool.
Thank you very much. I mean, I do think it's interesting because, so I've seen aspects of like perceptive media, for example, and I've seen aspects of it before.
Yeah.
But they've always tended to be a thing where they try and make it into a closed system.
Yeah.
So it does this magic with some magic algorithm, but actually it could be, and we've proven it could be done client side, where the person can see completely, have complete transparency of all this stuff. And so it's like, there's no excuse for this kind of closed system to do it.
I literally just looked up perceptive media.
Oh yeah. What have you found?
From 2012. And who are they talking about? But Ian Forrester, a senior developer at the BBC, that says that perceptive media takes narrative back to something more aligned to a storyteller and an audience around a campfire. Where does this lead to? That leads to the BBC.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's okay. Wow. So has this been your main focus there for a while at the BBC?
It was one of the main focuses. So I was interested in, as the BBC were kind of, as when I was at the BBC, the focus was very much about media.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, so one of the things, if you look further, and you probably won't see it, there's a thing called perceptive radio. And so what this is, it's a shame I'm not in my living room because I now have it on my shelf. This is a physical IoT device, which looks like a radio, but it plays back perceptive content. Because it has sensors on it, you could do a thing where you go up to it, and then it changes its story because it could do these very, these perceptive, I mean, like, why not?
This is, okay. So it's funny you're talking about, because this sounds like AI before AI now, not in.
Yeah, everyone says it's AI.
It's not. It is not. It has a specific set of predefined things, but based on your interactions, right? It feels like it could be the early days of AI because it responds to us.
Yes.
At a real level. But that's, I don't even have an Alexa in my house. Like, I don't know if I want my radio. I don't know if I want my radio doing that. But if it is all client side, as you said, right, that's a huge boon.
It had to be. So this is going back to what we talked about before, right? If it's server side, how can you trust it? How can you trust
Ian, though, that's the thing. That is the thing that I love about this conversation already, because you have that mindset. It has to be client side. How could you ever trust it if we're back there? But if we look at the last 20 years of the way that technology has gone, Facebook, Twitter, any of the IoT devices we have now, why would I do it client side? I could do it server side so much easier. That's the easy way to do it. And we have all this valuable data then. And we need more people like you. I hope there are more people like you out there still, like at the BBC and at these other companies, being like, no, we have a trust issue right now. Let the people decide how they want their stuff to interact.
Absolutely. And I think you're spot on. And it baffles me. It baffles me how the industry. I mean, okay, so from a commercial point of view, I see why, because the data is worth a lot.
Yeah.
And so some of the work we started to get into was around. So I worked a lot with a thing called Databox, which was a personal data store. So if you've heard of Solid, it was before Solid.
What?
Yes, this is all true. Go on. Sorry.
No, I love this conversation because so for those that don't know, Ian and I, again, Fedi Forum, you did the first one I was at, you did a presentation, but the second one, did you do like a keynote?
Oh yeah, I did a keynote on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ian comes off as a very like chill, relaxed, calm dude that is very business professional. And underneath him is this revolutionary waiting to get out. Come on, Ian. I want to see it. No, this is incredible stuff. I love this. So please go. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Tell me more that's going to blow my mind.
Okay, so I'll tell you this, and I'll get back to how this relates to the Fediverse.
Yeah.
In a minute.
No, take your time. Yes.
So okay, so there was so the whole thing about I do like Solid.
Yeah.
But one of the things that Solid misses from my point of view, it's very easy because it's web-based and it kind of was.
So
it's using web technology.
So there's a lot of non-technical people here.
Yes.
Do you want to go over real quick what Solid is, or I can go over? It's up to you.
You can go over it.
Okay.
So I have a subs of water.
So folks might or might not know Sir Tim Berners-Lee. He created a little thing called the web. www. He defined HTML. It's grown a lot since there. He's had other people that helped him too, but he was kind of the father that kicked it off. He's seen what year did it come out? 2013, 14, 15 is when I guess it started.
I think about that time. About 15, I think.
10 years ago.
I was talking to him in 2016 for sure.
Oh, okay. And he is working on a company called Inrupt.
Yep.
Which is to interrupt the current state of things that are going. He's seen now the Pandora's box that he's open with personal data being bought and sold, and he kind of wants to try and resolve that. And that has come out as Solid. Solid is this idea, and we were talking in the last show with Anuj and Ryan about this, in that you own your private self, your personal data. And think of the best way I could say this is think of your phone. We have prompts like, do you want this application to access your camera, your Wi-Fi? It would be the same idea. You can host your own data ball, your Solid pod if you want, or have it hosted somewhere else. And then when people come in, they'd have to say, okay, do you want Facebook to access your contacts list? Do you want it to access public posts you have? Do you want it to access health information? And any of these are up to you. Any of these are valid. Any of these, I don't want them having any of it. But if you do, you should have that choice, and we shouldn't have to depend on Facebook to own it and hold it. And if you decide to walk away, it is gone. So that is Solid. It is a digital you that you can control. So Ian was working on it well before that, though. Ian gave the idea to Sir Tim Berners-Lee.
Well, okay. That's not true. Let's just be clear. I think Tim would be pretty annoyed by that. But I will say something. We had a conversation at the Mozilla Festival in London.
Okay.
And I talked about Databox, and Databox was interesting. It was a whole cocktail of different technologies, so it made it really hard to develop for. It was it's weirdly more secure in ways than Solid because of this. However, it was a physical thing. So we're back to that it's a physical thing that you can control. So you can remove the power and it has no access, right?
Right.
It's that kind of thing. Or you can do all the network stuff that you do to block access to everything, right? You can do that stuff.
Yep.
However, the one thing I would say about Databox, which I did say to Tim and this is one of the things that also I carry through from now into the Fediverse.
Mm-hmm.
And as a designer as well. So for a long time, the designer's been around this thing called HCI, human computer interaction. So we're working. So humans are working with computers, right? And are interacting with computers,
right?
Databox changes that, and the way and this is definitely true of the Fediverse and all of where we are now. we're not working with computers. We're not interacting with computers. We're interacting with data.
Yes.
HDI, right? There is a thing called HDI, Human Data Interaction, which is a new discipline, and it has 3 different things. And I was going to interrupt when you were talking about Facebook and stuff like that. So one thing about Solid is that Solid gives you access to, do you want this data for this purpose, right?
Right. Yep.
That's useful.
Yes.
But we can go much deeper than that, right?
Okay.
So we can talk about, so HDI allows you to have, I'll do the first 2, which is very easy, legibility and agency. You should be able to control this. You should be able to do, this is what Solid does. The one thing that Solid doesn't have is negotiability. You should be able to say, I will give you this data, but I want to strip out all of the towns or reduce the...
Oh, okay. Sanitize the information. So give it anonymously, remove all of the fingerprints. That's
and you should be able to do that, because we know you can do that now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you should be able to go, hey, I will give you this data, but in return, I want this, and there should be a negotiation.
Interesting.
Actually, I can't give you the service that you want because you can't give me the stuff that I actually need. Yeah. Well, that's nice, but I still am not going to give you that data. For example, I'll give you this, and then the other side should go, well, we can deal with that.
And it's interesting. I mean, this is all massively interesting, but we look at it. So I'm thinking, when you're talking about this, that I can see, Solid eventually moving there, right? That maybe that's an add-on, but that matters at the forefront, because that still keeps, okay, you have an app and I have to use it, but like everyone on their phones, everyone just blankets yes to everything. Like, yes, I want this app. You can have everything. I don't care. Again, fine. That's what you want to do, but you should have that ability to negotiate, because that keeps more power to you. And if those companies see, okay, no one is saying yes to this one thing, that kind of give them signals as well that maybe their community, they're missing the mark for their community.
Absolutely.
And it's this implicit kind of community versus company balancing, it seems like. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So okay. So let's go back to the Fediverse. This is what this show's about.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah. No, it's about meeting people, but yeah.
Okay. Well, so I would say, okay. So one of the things that I find interesting is that you can start to do some of this stuff with the Fediverse, because the Fediverse has this standard activity pub protocol. There's the ability to create whole new ways. So right now, a lot of, and I'm going to guess, a lot of people who are listening to the show are focused on around Mastodon, right? And Mastodon's really, really good, but there's so much more stuff. And this is some of the stuff that, so I guess another reason why I'm really interested in the Fediverse is because when the BBC was looking at what they were going to do socially, especially when Twitter fell apart.
E-Day.
Yeah, E-Day. I like that. E-Day, perfect. And so there was a lot of talk, but we were not driven by that, but because a lot of us, like myself, were like, we need to do something different. We need to do something that's open. We can't be reliant on these systems, right?
Yes.
And so, one of the things that I was kind of saying was like, we would talk about the Fediverse, and we talk about Activity Pub and talk about Mastodon, and a lot of people will get confused. They kind of go, "What?" You talk about different things,
right? Yeah.
And so I remember drawing this kind of graph of like, this is Mastodon. It's an application which is part of the Fediverse, but uses as its underlying technology, Activity Pub. And it was really important for that people understood that, so we can have proper conversations about stuff like, what's it called, Pixel Feds, because there were some really powerful things you could do with Pixel Fed that they hadn't really thought about, or some of the other systems that there are some other applications that, or the ability to, for example, to create our own system, which could be, for example, not necessarily like solid, but something slightly different.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that I was kind of going, this is really important. This is what we need to understand, because I think we should be able, especially as a public service broadcaster, should be, as when I was at the BBC, I should be careful what I say, is, we should be, encouraging people to have the kind of negotiability and that agency and that legibility throughout all the stuff that they do within the BBC and outside the BBC,
and
to go.
Those are critical, right? On Mastodon or whatever. I'm on Go To Social, but like I don't see that. Yes, I see they have an account, right? And actually, when I found out that BBC R&D, when they announced it, they had an account, I went and followed it. Like, no offense, I don't care about the BBC because I'm not in the UK. I do like some of the shows they have, but I don't pay into the BBC. BBC doesn't really care about me either.
Lots of people in the UK don't pay for the BBC either.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's a joke, but it's that's one of the difficult things right now. Right now.
Well, but the fact that it was even on the BBC's radar, because when that happened, like that was huge news. Like we want this. We want news organizations, all of them. I don't care if your news is on the latest UFO sighting, sure, whatever, because that gives us all more power. It gives us all more choice. But the fact that the BBC, who we all know, like they're big, is interested in it, like it meant something to us. What was the reception there? Because that really is it. If Twitter decides tomorrow that, you know what, the BBC wrote something about me that I don't like, we'll find a way to kick you off, right?
Yeah.
I imagine we talk about digital sovereignty in the EU, but that's still the same thing. Companies can have their own digital sovereignty as well.
Yeah, I think that was definitely something that we thought about a lot, and obviously after D-Day, did you call it, or
E-Day, Elon Day, E-Day,
called E-Day. It became a lot more real, especially when Elon started saying that the BBC was owned by the government, which I know for people outside the UK, it seems that way, but it's a really important distinction that it's not, because it really isn't.
No. But NPR is the same way. They say that NPR gets all of its funding from the U.S. government. That is not true. It's actually a separate corporation set up to disperse money. And therein lies the problem, though, is these people in power buy up these ways of us to communicate, and they can say whatever the hell they want, but you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so I think, just going back to, because I think one of the reasons why we talked about the Fediverse, whenever I talked about internally about the Fediverse, was because it wasn't about, if it became about Mastodon, it became, this is a replacement for Twitter.
Right.
And this is, the Fediverse is not. The Fediverse is
not
something
right.
completely different. It also gives broadcasters and other entities the ability to do something much more powerful. So I like the fact that you're on Go To Social, is that?
Yeah, Go To Social. Yep.
And it's like, there's loads of different networks, and they can do different things, and they have different ways of approaching. They have it's just like, I love it. So one of the things I thought about a long time ago when I first came across, I've been on Mastodon, the actual Mastodon, since I think it was 2017. I think it was when it first.
Okay, right around. That's right around when I started. Yeah,
exactly. But I was also aware of that there was much more to it, and the activity part. I've been following stuff like Evan. I can never say his second name, Prodromo,
I believe it is. I could be wrong.
Yeah, yes. I know he's a good friend, but I just can't say his last name.
Mr. Fedi, Mr.
Yes,
Activity Pub. I don't know.
I've always found it interesting. So I've always found this whole like was it pump.io and status.net and stuff like that interesting. And one of the reasons why this links back to some of the stuff I mentioned before. So when you have an IoT device,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
There were a bunch of IoT devices connected to Twitter.
Yep.
And they would be run via the API. They would go to the API and they would do things, right? There's one that I knew, guy called, I'm really bad with names, but I can see his face. He's gonna hate me for saying this now, but he's got like a weird mustache. But he lives in Liverpool, and he had this thing called Bubblino. And when there was something tweeted with a hashtag, it would blow bubbles. Little cycle thing, and it would blow bubbles. It was really nice. It's really sweet. Hence Bubblino. There was an amazing woman called. Go on.
There was. I mean, when Twitter first came out, it was open to everyone, and everyone was doing that random stuff, right? And it was fun, and it was stupid, and that's what it was about. Like, I remember when a toilet got hooked up to Twitter. Right, and it was like someone sat down, someone stood up, someone flushed it, and that was it. And for some reason, it went viral because no one had ever seen it before. And now you can't do stupid stuff like that. And
exactly.
And that has cultural significance, right?
Yes.
Like those,
So I completely agree. So I have to give, and I remember her name very clearly because I literally just met her recently again. There's a woman called Alexander Deschamps Sansino. She did this thing called the Goodnight Lamp.
Okay.
And the Goodnight Lamp is that you have this kind of big house, so the idea is that if you have kids that kind of like go off to college or university, they take a smaller house with them. And when they go to sleep, they just press the button and the light goes out. But in the main house, the light goes out in that room, and it's like it's
oh my god,
it's beautiful. If you look for it, it's called the Goodnight Lamp.
I am looking for it.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning, right? And I was just like, oh my goodness! Now we're at a point where we have a network where you can not only kind of send this signal to this thing, but you could also do maybe send a private message or something, that there's ways of connecting in the more ambient ways, that because you have this network which is completely open and that you're not kind of having to run it through a third party.
Yeah.
And I was just like, literally IoT,
this is,
activity pub. Oh my goodness. And then you have the whole thing around control of data, and you have this thing about how media can change. And I'm like, this is like the world that we're creating. All the bits are there.
Yes.
They're literally there. What? They just need to be kind of it just needs someone with some forethought. This could all work together.
And this is the thing that we've kind of talked about it at Fedi Forum. Lots of folks have talked about is right now we are rebuilding the old social medias, right? That is the go-to, but which is good. Again, you should have choice into how you do this. Interop is a big thing, but that's where you're going to see actual innovation. And that's why, in my opinion, the Fediverse is not going anywhere. You can take this or Blue Sky or whatever you want, any open APIs, right? Any open protocols, right? And you can build whatever. And that's how innovation happens. Like, I've never heard of this housing thing, but as a parent, when my kids are older, that's just a little warm, fuzzy feeling that you have some kind of connection to your family, even when you're not directly nearby. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it's different from most people might be listening, going, "Oh, well, you can just send a message saying that you're going to sleep," and I'm like, you could, but it's the whole point is that it's more of an ambient thing.
Yeah, that's an interruption. If
Yes.
someone's sleeping, you could wake them up, or, you know, they might not get back to you. Like, this is such a cute, subtle way that actually has a purpose, and it still connects you to your family. That's really cute. I love that.
Exactly. And this is the kind of thing, these are the kind of applications
Yeah.
that I foresee for using ActivityPub and for the Fediverse. I think we're going to get this huge number of different types of applications,
Yeah.
different experiences that just work on an open network that's not owned by anyone, where there's not kind of judged because it hasn't got 50 million users and blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's like, this is where we're going. And it just seems like, why are we even waiting?
And I'm trying to remember who it was I talked to. Maybe it was Jazz Michael King. No, it wasn't Jazz. It was someone else I was talking about, like, because of the way the protocol is set up. Oh, was it Julian? Again, something like this, right? It would be on ActivityPub, which would mean not only could you view it this way, but you can view it like natively with a Twitter type client. You can do it with a Lemmy client. And I think it was Julian Lamb that I talked to. It's like, you could literally have IoT devices set up for absolutely everything. Think of, it could change the way we handle traffic control.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, well, this, you know, there's a sensor in the street and it just is connected to ActivityPub. There is a 5-minute delay. And you're like, well, there's immense uses for this stuff where Silicon Valley has tried to push it down our throat for the last 10 years and say, this is the next thing. And with this, you could start a company like that, build little houses that hook up to that's so good. I love this.
I think the other thing that I love about this is that I think you literally hit the nail on its head, is that it's now the choice of the person.
Yeah.
To kind of go, I wanted to see it on this house that I've got, or I want to have the notification on my phone. I want it on my watch. I want it to appear. I want the flower to, like, I don't know, wave, you know, in the background, whatever. It's like the protocol just passes the data, and it's then up to you to decide how you want it to happen, or you choose not to, you know. It's those kind of things that I think are really powerful.
It's real choice. And again, it ends up the same. The message, you shouldn't have to create 50 different accounts for 50 different services that are literally all doing the same thing, but you have to do it now because they refuse to talk to each other. Yeah. And
I know you probably want to hear what happened next on the show, but the following section is only available on the Fediverse. These uploads to big tech platforms such as YouTube, they're just to spread awareness about the Fedi. They were never supposed to be the official way for you to watch the show anyway. So go on and get the full episode on video.firesidefedi.live. It is absolutely free. Just a different website. This video will now continue from a bit later in the conversation.
I don't want that hassle. So you would pay someone to do some of that work for you, to like customize it in a certain way, or to do something, you know, and it's like a small amount of money, but over millions of users.
Assured data integrity, or have an SLA, right? Like right now, these aren't really critical. If I lose it, it sucks. If a fire department can no longer contact, right, like their people, that's a bigger issue. This is 911 going out. Like, you need to have people there. And eventually, if it continues on this trajectory, those places will have that. And there has to be a way for them to pay someone to handle it and manage it for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think just going forward as well, there was a project that's still going right now. Not still going. It's a great project, and I should give it a lot more credit than I'm making out.
Okay.
So it's around, because obviously everyone's talking about AI.
Yeah.
And I just literally just did a talk about AI.
Talking about AI, just to let everyone know that Peter Thiel's company just sold off 40% of all of their. This is not a stock. website or anything. I just found it interesting that Peter Thiel sold off all of his NVIDIA stock. So
really,
all 40% of
okay.
his hedge fund company, 40% of it was just in NVIDIA. They dumped all of it.
Wow. Okay.
Heads up.
I'm looking forward to the was it Ed Zitron rant about that? That'll be interesting. If you've not come across that, you should definitely check him out.
What is it
It's very
called?
sweary. Oh, it's called Better Offline.
Better
It's
offline.
a podcast, and it's a very sweary podcast, but it's literally it's like him for about an hour outlining
Really?
why AI is a bubble and it's all gonna
Yeah.
but it's some really good points. So the point I was gonna make, sorry, is
Yeah,
that
no, go ahead. Sorry.
so there's a project that the BBC and the New York Times, and now it's been, well, Adobe was involved as well, and it's called C2PA. I will say it quickly, and everyone goes, "Huh? What?" It's the I knew I was going to forget what it was called now. It's like the content.
Oh no.
Oh.
Coalition for Content Provenance
That's the
and
one.
Authenticity.
Yes.
What is this?
So right. So what this is, when you create media,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
you can embed a watermark within it, but it's not a watermark. It's a I can never say the word.
cryptographic key or something embedded in the image.
Yes, exactly. Right. So there's things that you can do also where you can, if someone edits it, then you can see the edit and you can see what's changed and what the original was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I know that Google have now called it something else, TikTok have called it something else, but they're using the same standard. So one of the things I was thinking about was clients that actually take advantage of this. You know, so you actually have a client that's like, oh, I recognize this picture. I know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Would you like to see what's changed? Would you like to see where the provenance was, where it came from? Would you like to, and like for it to help you to navigate the challenges of, I mean, because most of us go, that picture's obviously fake, right? I need to drop that into reverse image search. Where's that coming from? Well, who else has seen that? For it to do that all for you is, for example, now this may be something that only journalists are interested in, but there may be some other people that are interested in this.
I wholly disagree with that because I think everyone should have a basic fundamental understanding of this, and they need to know, is this real or is it not?
Yeah.
We are in a specific time in the United States where we have people flat out saying that's not true, that's doctored. And you're like, but we have like 16 different news organizations reporting that it happened. So did it or did it not? And then sometimes you find out, yes, it actually did happen. He said that, or no, they all got it from this one source. You can't really trust any of it. So building something like that into the Fediverse and then just having like a green check or something like, yes, this came from the official source that is cited or something like that. Yeah, I think is absolutely necessary.
Okay. I think you I was literally with you, and I think you were right. And I think you got the last bit right, which is because there's this notion that it's verified, and that's not true. It's like, it's verified. It came from this organization.
Yes.
Or, and you then make a decision if you trust that
organization. Right.
Yes,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like the HTTP versus HTTPS. Just because it's HTTPS doesn't actually mean you're going to the website you think you are. Yeah. If it's bbc.co.uk and it's HTTPS, yes. If it is Tom's bbc.co.uk and it has HTTPS, probably not what you want.
No.
But
exactly.
So
I just think that there's all of these opportunities only exist on an open network.
Yeah, I like to hear that.
With a standard protocol.
Yeah.
With people who are thinking about this in diverse ways, not just going, we're going to create the Twitter clone.
Yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from Mastodon.
No.
But it's just that they recognize that this is part of a much bigger network, and
Yep.
they are very keen for that. And I just want people to also realize that, because there's always there was a whole thing during 2023 where it's like, well, Mastodon's now got this many users. It's like, yeah, that's really cool, but what else are people doing on there? Are we what else is there? It's not about just Mastodon,
right? No,
and it's one of the key points I made when I was in the BBC. So yes, go on.
Yeah, no, and again, that's the thing, is we're kind of pigeonholing ourselves into recreating what has been, which is fine. That's they've become essential services.
Yeah.
But eventually there gets to be a place or someone that is like, well, what can be? And a lot of it's going to fail, but at least it's even possible to try now. Like there was a time when you can try with Facebook's API. There was a time you can try with Reddit. There was a time you can try with Twitter. Now you can't do any of it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see those kinds of things as someone that never used those, because I never wanted to be in those environments. I feel sad for the people that built livelihoods on it. There was some app developers, right? But we all have a very hard lesson that we have to learn over the last 20 years, which a lot of us has been saying is that doesn't belong to you. Like we're putting it out there, but they've guaranteed that that is now theirs.
Yeah.
And they're really showing it.
Yes. I don't know how much longer we got, but I wanted to just pick up on one last thing you mentioned about essential services.
Yes.
I, as someone who's a big believer in the public good, and
ditto.
I still find it extremely painful when in trains in the UK, it will say if you feel like uncomfortable or whatever, then you can chat to us on WhatsApp. And I'm just like, okay, this is not right. I'm sorry,
not safe.
This is not right. This is not. I don't understand how this even happened.
Yeah,
and I worry about stuff like that. And to be fair, sometimes they do have an SMS, but it's still you're talking about essential services, public services, which are dependent on proprietary networks and the business models of companies, which can literally go, well, you know what, I'm just going to turn that off. You've had too many. You've overstated your limit today.
No,
we're just going to turn that off.
I was shocked and horrified when I found out that there are police departments in the United States that use Twitter to announce all of their public announcements.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Why? And they're like, well, it's where everyone is. We can just put there and everyone knows. It's like, and oh my, it's and so I think one of my things I really want to change in some way, not just me, but I think we all need to change, is to literally drum home the problems with these proprietary networks and go, for fuck's sake, please own your own server, your own instance. Have some control. Yeah.
This isn't a thing. This isn't a potential. This might happen. This has happened over and over again. They've, Meta has cut off access to certain parts of certain regions because they've decided that the government wasn't happy with what was happening there.
Yep.
This is a constant thing. I don't understand how we're connecting essential services in the way with these proprietary networks. It's like we have alternatives. And so I think this is one of the kind of strongest thing for me.
Open alternatives. Like a lot of Twitter, you have to sign in now. like, no, I shouldn't have to sign in to see I'm experiencing issues with a passenger on a train.
Yeah.
Because what if that passenger's Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Like, it's outlandish. It's stupid. He's never going to be there, but you don't know who's in a place of power to just say, well, I know this guy. And it is so conspiratorial to say it. But as you said, we've seen it over and over again.
Yep.
People losing full livelihoods because they just shut the door. They changed the algorithm and they saw your business model was really good. So now I'm going to do it. See ya. Like Amazon is notorious for that.
Yeah. It kind of, I feel my soul slightly crumble when I see these things.
Yeah.
I see it again and again. And it scares me. And I do question it. And I don't understand how I do understand because I've been very interested in politics, not only because of what's happened in America, what's happened in the UK, which is nowhere near as bad as what's happened in America, just to be clear. But
yes, we are the greatest again. Not in the way we wanted.
I will say that I'll say the word once. I will say it again. We'll never say it again. The B word, the Brexit word, was like a clear wake up call of how disinformation, misinformation, how what you're seeing, what someone else is seeing is it's a clear. And this is also what's really interesting is that happened in 2016. That was 1 year after Visual Perceptive Media, the drama which we can alter into 50,000 variations.
Yeah.
So it was like we already showed how to do it in a responsible way.
Yeah.
And then they just went and did it in a way that's not responsible. Yeah.
No, that's it's not the technology, it's how you use it. So what is Cubic Garden Limited?
Okay, so I feel like I should do like an exclusive, but I'm not going to. So I've had the name Cubic Garden for a long time. I had on my blog, I've had a blog since 2003.
Cubicgarden.com.
Yeah. And so I kind of wanted a name that was unique. If you look for it, you'll find me instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I know most people don't want that, but back then you did. But also, it ties to a computer game. And I put the challenge out that if someone can guess what the computer game is, then I would buy them dinner. But I think that challenge is now elapsed. So just in case people are like, I want to be taken to the best Michelin star restaurant in Japan.
I was gonna say, you including flight in this, because
well, exactly. But yeah, it's just I think it also for me it's kind of like it's a combination of like Cubic's very kind of like structural, very kind of like solid, and then Garden is much more kind of organic and kind of the blur of them together is kind of what I like. I like that kind of notion of we have some really kind of real structural, powerful things, but you also have the organic mixed in together. So as I said, my time in Bristol, I grew up with Banksy, so you get these. I mean, you've all seen Banksy's, I assume, but like
I like the one where he was having the picture be shredded. That was that was the best one.
But there's always this thing in Bristol where when they put up adverts and for some reason a car advertisement had a car in the middle and had like lots of white space, and I remember just going, this is in London. I said to my friend, how long is it until that's going to be completely subverted into something different?
Yeah.
And my friend was like, what? but because I know in Bristol, it'll be about 5 minutes after they pasted it up.
Yeah.
That there'll be like, it wouldn't be like just there'll be a bunch of tags, but there'll be a bunch of clever uses of like basically
Yeah.
indicating that cars are bad for the environment, or like it's just like they turn the whole thing on itself.
Of course. Yeah.
And I felt like this is kind of like this combination of like the kind of solid and the organic mixing together is the kind of
Okay.
the kind of whole thing about Cubic Garden, which is ultimately this is now my business.
Yep.
So yes, that's the easy answer to it.
So what is your aim for it?
So I'm working with a American nonprofit called New Public, which maybe people have heard of and maybe not have heard of. They do some very cool stuff. They work with lots of public service broadcasters. It's funny because they're American, but they work with lots of European public service broadcasts and Canadian and Australian.
No, dude, this is okay. Reimagine
This,
social media. We're researchers, engineers, designers, and community leaders working together to explore creating digital public spaces where people can thrive and connect. But you said it connects with like, so like, does it connect with like NPR and things like that?
No, I think
Okay.
NPR and this is the funny thing because I think obviously I'm aware, and I've said it before, and I got slated for it. Public media in America,
Yeah.
it's kind of been hit really hard.
Yes.
I did say that it was non-existent, and people were like, "No, that's not true, Ian." Blah, blah, blah.
The only way to get a quick, real answer to something is to say the wrong thing on the internet, right? Like,
people told me,
yeah,
very clearly,
loudly, I'm sure. Yeah.
oh yes, but I think that because they tend to work with like the big public service broadcasters,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're working with them on, for example, what they do socially, how they do that, how to do that with actual meaning rather than just throwing stuff out there. So a lot of public service broadcasters just broadcast on the internet.
Yes.
They don't think about it as a public square. And I know they would like very much like, well, Twitter is a public square. Well, that public square was not a public square. It was just
right.
Kind of
Some
like a
man's
private
backyard.
land that they let you stay on for a little while, and now they want you all off.
Right.
So you have to create these spaces.
Oh, and they're on Mastodon. Oh, I know who I'm reaching out to.
Okay, there you go.
This is a good recommendation.
So I won't say much more about what we're doing.
Yeah,
there,
no.
What I'll be doing there ultimately is I'll be working. So there's this thing called the Public Service Incubator, which is very similar to something I worked on in the BBC called Public Service Internet. But ultimately, what that will turn into some open source code, because all of these public service broadcasters have collaborated together on that on that tool set, and then they will open source it, and then everyone will be able to have access to it, and everyone will be able to modify it and make it work for them.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I think it's very clear that the Fediverse is going to be one of the key things within it, because, okay, for example, I noticed on Ghost, for example,
mm-hmm.
the ability to just log in with your own Mastodon or your own,
login. Decentralizing login is something a lot of folks are talking about. It is horrible right now, right?
Yeah.
It's
But you could see the possibilities, because, for example, if you don't trust the BBC, for example, or you don't trust, let's say, NPR, because maybe I'm not gonna go there. then
that's another hour, if not more, conversation. I can rant and rail on all of it. I won't, but yeah.
I would love to hear it, because I find it. I mean, I won't stop. So ultimately, the ability to have your own, to like log in as your own, rather than having to log into their system and then to be able to comment or to contribute, is kind of that's kind of needs to change, and that's why a federated login makes a lot of sense, for example.
And this is why, again, I'm an idealist. I'm very passionate about this stuff. I love this stuff, but I have seen people working at so many different angles of all of this, working collaboratively to bring this to life. Like, again, Anuj and Ryan, like they made Bridge Fedi, they made Bounce so that you can move through all these things. And ideally they want to be either transparent so that no one has a clue, or non-existent because it all just interconnects anyway, which is how it should be. And we might fail. I might fail in trying to get the message out. Ian might fail. A New Republic might fail. Ryan and Anuj might fail. But there's an army more of people that are trying something else. And you just keep hitting it from all angles. And we're seeing cracks already. E-Day, right? The shutdown of the APIs. Like this brought it to people's forefront, where before we were the crazy ones saying they can do this. And like, yeah, but they won't. Oh, wait, maybe they will. Yep.
I would say one thing. I know we're wrapping up. Sorry.
No, you're good.
One thing that I talk about a lot, and I won't go into too much detail, but the way we measure success is so broken.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that challenges the Fediverse challenges a lot of the thinking is that because it's so federated, like, oh, wait, there's only like 4 people on this instance. There's only like 20 people on this instance. Well, obviously must be failing. Well, no. Those 4 people are having a party and a half. Those 20 people are having an incredible party.
Yeah.
And the people on the 10 billion server are maybe not having the best time. And so I'm really interested, and I've always been interested, and there's a project that I worked on in the BBC called Human Values. And it basically is about getting away from these metrics, these simple metrics of there's 1,000 people on this, there's only 4 people on this. Obviously, 1,000's better than 4. Well, hold on.
Dude.
For those 4 people, they are so interconnected. Yeah, this conversation we're having right now wouldn't be better with 1 billion people in the conversation.
I've had this conversation many times too, and I love how you said it, is our idea of success is broken. It is.
Yeah.
The numbers that these platforms put out, like Linus Tech Tips, I think has like 5 million subscribers, right? That's huge. That's a huge number. I don't need 5 million.
Yeah.
Right. Like I have just on the video, I think, or on my go-to social for Fireside Fedi, there's almost 1,000 people following. On the PeerTube, there's like 600 or 700 people following. On the Castopod, it's like, well, there's only 80 people following, but that's not true because they're following it on all the other connected places that they can.
Yeah.
And 1,000's a huge number. You get 1,000 people in one area, that matters. But not only that, like I was looking at the statistics of where people come from. There are countries here I've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Leinster, Capital Region, Ile-de-France. I mean, that's, they're not countries, but they're areas I've never heard of. I have top Asian regions: Jiangsu, Central Visayas, Liaoning, Henan, Yunnan.
Mm-hmm.
These are people I never would have been able to talk to before.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And like, it's amazing the ability to actually have those discussions. And as you said, like the 2 people over there, the 10 people over here, you get to pick and decide, and you don't have to move which party you're a part of.
Yeah.
And it's empowering. And that's why I'm so addicted to this stuff, because I get to talk to 20 years ago. Video conferencing, right, was horrible. It was terrible. And now I run my own.
Jitsi. I tried to install Jitsi, self-host it over the pandemic. I found it a struggle, but I feel like I should try it again now because it seems like it seems to be beautiful.
Oh, it was super easy to set up. I didn't do much. I had to troubleshoot a little bit because one of the because it does WebRTC. So all it does is handle WebRTC connections. So we're talking directly to each other. The server is just an intermediary, right? But one of the ports wasn't open in the firewall, so it crashed in unexpected ways. But it was still super easy breeze to set up. I highly recommend it for anyone that's interested in doing audio video conferences that you want self-hosted. It was a piece of cake. But
I will do that then, because I have a podcast as well, and we're currently using Discord, and I know. Well,
not even. So here's one of the huge things that I'll say about Jitsi too, which I have yet to do because I don't know how and I don't have the time. You can customize everything. You can have your logo for your show in any place. You can, theme it. You can do whatever you want. It's fully open source, and people.
Maybe it's all done via CSS.
You know what, Ian? I think it is. I think it might be, and that's why I'm like, nope.
I'm not good. Not until they crank out a JSON file for me to edit. I'm not
nope. Sorry, guys. But no, that's one of the things folks are like, well, instead of the Jitsi in the upper left-hand corner, you should have a Fireside Fedi thing. It's like, I know there are ways to do it, but I haven't done it, and it's not a high priority. But yeah, it's open source. You can do whatever you want with it, which is amazing.
This is the beauty of it all, right? It's all there. It just needs kind of like people to go, oh, this, and I can find the right people, and then just kind of go with it. And I just think we're on the cusp of something quite big. But I do see the pull again of like, oh, well, you've only got 1,000 users. And I always use, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but I do send around. So I got a friend who actually lives in the same block of flats as me. And he puts on graffiti documentaries in a kind of a little place nearby.
Okay.
So every 2 months, he puts on, he kind of talks to the owner of the film, and it just like brings people together, and it's really cool, right? And he keeps on going, oh, why? I would say to him, why do you always do stuff on Instagram, or why don't you set up your own like instance, and then you could like bring all the people together, and rather than just broadcasting to them. And he was like, that sounds really good, but it sounds like a lot of work. And I'm like, I could probably do that for you on my self-host that for you, But the point I was really getting to is that he kind of keeps on worrying about the numbers, and I keep on saying the connection in the room, even though people are watching the screen, but afterwards when people are having a drink, it's like powerful. And I keep on using Kevin Kelly's 1,000 True Fans, which I'm not sure if you come across.
I don't know this.
Oh, you should look at it. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but if you literally look for it, it's all about how you only need 1,000 true fans. You don't need 10 billion people. You don't need to actually, to be not successful, but like to live.
Well, and again, you think about everyone in a room, right? Say 10,000 people went to a concert. That's a good sized concert. Now, what if only 100 people clapped? That's fucking awkward.
Yeah.
And that's what we have. Yes, you have 5 million subscribers, but one, how many are actually people? And two, how many actually talk to you and are interested in growing and investing in you, your community, the things you agree with, the things that you like. And it doesn't have to be everything. We can just agree on something, but there's another community right there that does that thing that you like. And you don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're there. We have the technology now. We have the systems to do this. We have all the things that are ready. We're just stuck on this mentality that if it's not 10 million people, then what's the point?
I literally had some Twitch streamers. This was years ago when I was trying to espouse the virtues of Owncast on Twitch. And one person was like, yeah, but can it host 1 million viewers at once? And I said, do you have 1 million viewers at once? And of course they didn't respond to me. It's like, what does it's not, and folks have this idea that it's not possible to do, that it's not technologically feasible. Well, Twitter has a hard time doing it. So how is this going to work? It's working. It's working.
Yeah.
And the human connection matters so much. One of my friends that I know, he introduced me to this music, this artist called BMX Escape, which I love it. If you like 80s kind of synthy music, check out BMX Escape. But he just reached out to them. It's like, hey, your music is amazing. We have this other thing over here. You know, would you be interested? And they jumped on, and he's like, oh my God, can you reach out to them? I was like, absolutely. The music's great. It's great. And they don't have to be dependent upon the algorithm, which isn't doing shit for them.
Yeah.
Because how many people are looking for 80s synthwave music on new?
Yeah.
You look for a specific song, yes. But like word of mouth matters.
I do think this is like one of the big things is that I DJ on a device which I can actually show you on. It's this device called a pacemaker.
Oh my God.
I DJ on planes and trains because you can have the headphones in and it records it on the device. And
no way.
It's from the early 2000s. It's kind of like you can still get it on eBay really cheap, but it's one of those things that I do it to myself. I love it, and there are some people. So I've now got a peer tube on my other self-hosted site, which I'm putting a link in. I'm putting the links in the chat so you can share them later. Yeah. But it's like this came after trying out putting stuff on SoundCloud and getting just literally 5 seconds later it's gone because it's like, you know, mixes fit in this category where you're making a new piece of work, but because you're using existing works, it's always like sketchy, like, oh, is this are you actually pirating this or not? So they just take it down. Then I use a thing called Mixcloud that got turned into shitification hell because
of course
they literally wouldn't let you fast forward. They wouldn't even show you the song titles unless you were a pro member. Oh yeah, I don't even know what it's like now. It's probably worse than that now.
Okay.
It's just crazy stuff like that.
Hey man, there's this amazing song I just listened to. What was it called? I don't know. I don't pay $5.99 a month to find out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
That is outlandish.
Yes.
And any artist that puts their stuff on there, like, you have to know people aren't going to find it then because they don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this is why I just kind of decided that I'm going to self-host it myself, and now I have a peer tube which now does that for me, and I can obviously put the chart track listings and all that kind of stuff. But I just think that there's like, even around the mixes I've got that I put out, there's a number of people that do listen to them. I do not want 1 billion people listening to my mixes.
Yeah,
you know, like if it's the people who really enjoy it and they kind of like message me and say, "Oh, that was great," blah blah blah, and it's like maybe let's say about 20 people, and that's fine for me. I know more people listen to it, but I don't want this kind of like, I'm not going to change my job to be a DJ. You know, it's not a thing that I like DJing. I love the music, but I'm not going to do that.
Right. You want to, yeah.
It's for fun.
Yeah.
No, it's a hobby. And I think there's a whole thing about hobbies and
temper your expectations from someone that it's a hobby, that you do it on a train versus someone in a music studio or someone playing classical music. They might not be a part of that, and that's fun. You know, this is crazy. All right,
I feel like we've gone on for too long, and I've really
this is great. I love
talking.
I love this. I love it. So, well, now for the real reason I asked Ian here is to give them the opportunity to win a prize of a lifetime.
Oh wow!
Our prize today is an emerging technologies that haven't emerged yet because they've seen their shadow and went back inside for 8 more weeks. Do you have the groundhog stuff there? Do you guys know the groundhog? That's the groundhog thing. No. Okay. That completely fell flat. Fell flat. Perfect. Good. So then when I go over it at the end, it'll fall flat a second time. Wonderful. We thought about getting you anything useful, but we're not that kind of show. Are you ready for the quiz, Ian?
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Favorite movie? Why is it Spaceballs?
What? Wait, I don't. It's not Spaceballs.
You're the first guest to say it's no. Pretty much, I think I've had 2 people say it was Spaceballs. So, what's your
Okay.
favorite movie?
Well, okay. I'm a big film person.
Okay.
It all depends on what mood I'm in, but I'll say the one that had probably one of the biggest effects, and I know people are gonna absolutely shout when they hear this. I love The Matrix. I do.
No.
But
Yeah.
I was okay. So I have to tell you a little bit of a very short thing.
Sure.
So I almost died
Oh wow.
in 2010, and when I was in the coma, I had some I'll say interesting experiences.
Okay.
And then when I came out of hospital, the film Inception had just been released.
Okay.
And was it then? It was then. Yes, it was then, because the pandemic was 10 years later. Sorry. I was like, man, this is right. And so I went and watched it. So I went into IMAX. I sat in the front row of the IMAX, row A, like this.
Oh God.
And like my mind was like, oh my goodness, this is like, and I have been interested in dreams.
Okay.
And I still got in my long list of things I want to start, especially using the Fediverse.
Yes.
Is I really am interested in a dream sharing service using the Fediverse.
Interesting.
And so I'm really interested in like people sharing dreams.
Yeah.
Because there's techniques to remember your dreams. And I've used those in the past. There's ways to change your dreams.
Okay.
But to be able to share them, there are services that exist, but they're all proprietary and they're all really horrible.
Of course.
So this is something that I'd say that the one that had the biggest impact is probably Inception.
Okay.
And I still love it. And I've been known to watch it. I've probably watched it about 24 times in a year.
Wow. Okay.
The track is incredible.
That's a good one. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I should go watch it again. But yeah. All right.
You should.
Excellent answer.
24 times.
24 in a row.
Oh yeah.
Next question. Vimto, Manchester United, or BBC Media City?
This is so ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not a football fan at all. Even though if I literally turn my laptop round,
you have Man
show
U
the
on
Man
it.
City Stadium. That's how close I am. Not that I like Media City. I spent a lot of time there, but also when I first came up to Manchester, it wasn't built, so I had a hand not in building it, but in building the culture there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was really important.
Okay,
but I would say that I do like Vimto. I actually prefer it slightly than so Vimto is a very northern thing.
Okay.
Ribena is more of a southern thing.
Oh, okay.
So
these are for those that don't know, Vimto is a flavored drink in the UK.
It's actually a corduroy. Whenever you have it in other countries, so you add it to water.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
Like extreme. It's like you just if you put a whole bottle in and drink it, you're dead.
Okay.
It's very like concentrate. It's concentrate.
Okay.
You add it to water. Yeah. Okay. I don't think you have it in many other countries, which is probably says a lot about the sugar in the UK.
Well, I mean, this is the US. We got some sugar problems here.
Oh, that's very true.
Speaking of sugar, the next question.
Uh-oh.
Eccles cakes, Bakewell tart, or Chorley cakes?
Can I say none of them?
I've never had any of them. The Bakewell tart picture I saw looked delicious though. So what yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. I do not like I know what they all are.
Okay.
I haven't got a sweet tooth, not in that way.
Oh, okay.
I would rather have like a croissant, which is not so sweet.
That's not sweet. I'll call it savory.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. A pan de chocolat, then that's sweet.
Okay. Yes.
I got a very I used to eat a lot of dark chocolate, and I find sugar annoying. I find things way too sweet. So
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah,
That
I'd
just means
probably
you need to
say
eat
none.
more. Then eventually
Uh,
yeah,
that's what I'll say.
build
I
up
would
that tolerance.
I'd go for the Eccles cake so I can give it to someone else.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Next question is, what does an alternate universe Ian do?
Oh, I thought this multiple times. I think an alternative universe Ian would use perceptive media to take over the media and to brainwash a bunch of people,
Wow.
and then steal that data and sell it to Peter Thiel and his friends.
Wow. Okay.
Obviously,
So
that's a very alternative.
that is not our Ian at all. He has a
No.
mustache and a little goatee, and
He also makes this laugh like.
this is so much better than what I have. I mean, I reached out to an alternate universe, Ian. The phone for reaching out to alternate universes changes from week to week. This week, it's a sheet of paper that looks like my son wrote on it. Says, "This is a jellyfish."
Oh.
Yeah. And when I reached out to that Ian, while our Ian is an emergent technology expert, the alternate universe Ian is an antique technology expert. He studies things like bag cell phones, 286 PCs, and dot matrix printers. That just sounds like he likes to nerd out to me, but good on him.
I've actually got.
Do you? Every IT guy has the story. Yep, go ahead.
I've got a series of like old mobile phones. Like I got my first Ericsson phone, and I've got the Nokia banana phone with the one before the Matrix.
Yeah.
I've got stuff like that.
Do you have a StarTAC?
Somewhere.
Do you have a Motorola StarTAC or
I didn't
Motorola
really
Razr?
like the StarTAC.
Oh, you didn't like the
No.
StarTAC? Dude, the StarTAC at the time was like mind blowing. You can fold a phone? Like, now we're trying to get back there again. Look at that.
Yes.
All right. Next question. ABC, BBC, or XYZ?
So, okay, what do you mean by ABC? Or
Whatever, just whatever you want. I don't know if you've noticed, Ian. It doesn't make sense. It could be anything.
I'm trying to make meaning in the middle of chaos.
No, one of the best times, like I've had this happen twice where I'm talking to like absolutely brilliant people and I ask them a question and it makes sense in my head and they take it completely differently. And not only have I confused them, but then they confuse me. And we spent 5 minutes trying to figure out where we both landed. This is just, I know you said the BBC. ABC is the American Broadcasting Company, and then XYZ is just a random, last series of letters.
Well, it's funny you say that because ABC is also the Australian.
Australian, yep.
Company.
Yep.
Okay, so I would say, oh, you know what? My ex-colleagues would literally, they would have a real problem if I didn't say BBC. So I would say BBC.
Okay, BBC. There you go. I like how your ex-colleagues, like you assume your ex-colleagues are going to watch this, but I don't assume anyone watches any of this.
You know what?
I just have a blast.
You'll be surprised the kind of what the what a number of people do. They kind of watch when people talk about BBC and stuff like that. So
oh really?
Especially, yeah.
I'll make sure to put that in the headline. The head of BBC IT quits over furious Fediverse firestorm or something like. No, not doing that.
Oh, BBC doesn't need more.
Oh yeah, what was it last week? Whew.
Yeah.
Anyway, as usual, the last question will be sent to Ian telepathically. I'll send the question. Just make sure your telepathic receptors are open, and then let me know when you have the question. You can go ahead and tell me. You ready?
Okay.
All right, here comes the question. All right, there's a question. Take your time. For those that don't know, telepathy has a lot of information you can share instantaneously. So it's a massively huge question.
I got the question. The question is the typical question, which is, Mac, PC, or Linux.
Okay. And
And
the answer,
and answer is Linux.
for obvious reasons, it can only be that, right?
Well, you know what? It's a really interesting story. Not an interesting story. It's not that interesting, but it's interesting to me.
I'm sure it's interesting. I'm sure it's.
So I was obviously not on any of those systems for ages. I just couldn't afford them. And then I started building my own PCs, and so you had Windows for it.
Of course, yep.
And then Windows XP came out, and I was like, "No, this is okay." I preferred Windows 2000. And then I decided when was it Vista? Was it Vista? Or was
Vista was garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. I just was like, I'm not going to that. That is nonsense. And I installed. Well, I did dual boots for a long while.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'm not moving to Vista, and so I switched to Ubuntu. And then was it 606? Was it 606 or 604? Whichever one.
Yeah, that's about when I moved too. Six or
and
7.
Then I never looked back.
Yeah.
Never looked back. I just stuck with them. There was a bit of pain at the beginning with like building your own machine and hardware compatibility, but
it's come a long way.
Never went back. Never ever.
Cool. All right. Congratulations, you got every answer either correct or incorrect. Good job. Unfortunately, when I attempted to fetch you the emerging technologies that haven't emerged yet because they seen their shadow and they went back inside for 8 more weeks, they bit us and scurried deeper into their tech hole. So I'm sure after this AI bubble bursts, someone will work on selling us the next hot thing. So hopefully. But anyway, Ian, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a blast. I like seeing the sides of these things I've never seen before, hearing all your stories. This is great. And it's always very humbling to me at all the amazing, brilliant people working on all this stuff at all the different levels. So thank you very much for all you're doing. Keep doing, all the good work you're doing.
Thank you. I will. And I also echo that to everyone in the Fediverse and those people that are about to join, because this is where the innovation is. This is where stuff can really happen without having to ask permission, which is really important.
Yeah. That is the best way to put it. I'm a fucking adult. I can do this if I want to. Yeah. Elon Daddy, I don't need your permission. Let's just build it. Well, thank you so much again, Ian. And thank you, everyone. As Ian said, echoing out there, thank you to all of you. The Fediverse works because you're out there, because we're people that just want to communicate, whether you're building something, running an instance, moderating an instance, or just sharing cat pictures. Like, all of that matters. This is the social network. That's how this works. None of it works without you out there. So thank you all so much. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.